If you are a food junkie, so obsessed with new flavors, textures, you're gonna work your way up to this eventually.
Oh, smell that.
When it comes to meat, whether we're talking salmon sashimi or fresh beef burger patties, we can all agree that freshness is key, right?
It's like the best beef you can get.
Wrong. New generations of daring chefs are pushing the limits of poultry and their diners' palates.
I'd always heard of dry-aged beef. Can you age any kind of meat?
I mean, you can within reason.
What would be unreasonable? Because I never would have guessed duck.
In this exclusive series, we're demystifying high-end cuisine.
Whoa.
Wow, you know, a big part of fine dining is for your food to be literally smoking.
Following expensive fine dining ingredients back to their source.
It's like harvesting season right now for all these oysters, big and small.
Today, we're going deep into the world of aged meats.
Got to keep that temperature nice and low. Otherwise, if it gets too hot, it'll start to age the meat a little bit too quickly than what we want.
Is that just rotting?
Basically.
Discovering the secret techniques that go into making some of the most polarizing protein on the planet.
What should we expect when we bite into this?
I think you've missed a lot of things if you haven't really tried it. It's probably my favorite way of eating it.
It all starts with the ducks.
Guys, today we are no longer ducking around.
Sorry.
Don't laugh. It's a serious video. Today we have come southward to Vietnam's Mekong Delta to learn how they grow some of the best ducks out there. Joining me today, Dien.
Hey.
Have you had duck before?
Of course.
I probably didn't have duck till I was in my 30s.
What?
Well, today we're not just having any type of duck. We're having aged duck. Have you heard of this?
Not really.
There's a whole movement or trend behind aged meats. So they've taken duck, they'll put it in kind of a refrigerator, and it'll just hang out there for 2 weeks.
Whoa, sound like a lot of work.
Well, I don't know if it's a lot of work. It seems like you just kind of hang it there. Today, we're gonna be exploring this whole entire process. We're gonna follow these ducks from being born to, well, the other side of life. Are you open to tasting a duck that's been sitting in a refrigerator for 3 weeks?
I mean, I've eaten bugs, so.
So you're kind of open to anything, though, right?
Yes.
I've gotten word from a duck cooking expert that these are some of the best quality ducks you'll find anywhere.
Right now, we're amongst this giant paddling of ducks.
They are so cute.
They're very cute. How many ducks would you say you have in here?
Okay,
Around 2,000 ducks.
2,000, that's wild.
Mr. Hung has been in the duck rearing business for 7 years. Now he's raising about 4,000 of these little quackers at any given time.
What percent is being sold to restaurants and what percent is being sold as pets?
So he said mostly that these are sold for just meat. Oh, look at you. You're sad.
No, I feel nothing.
Typically, going from a duckling to a ready-to-sell adult takes about 8 to 10 weeks.
How old are they about right now?
2 weeks only.
Okay, 14 days, that's pretty big.
But this duck breed, originating in France, can become fully grown around 6 to 7 weeks. They require less feed and produce higher quality
So
protein.
there are many factors that would decide if the duck's gonna be good, but he said the DNA, it would take up to 70 to 80%.
Just like Japan's Kobe beef, good DNA is just half the battle. How they're raised matters too, ensuring they go from fluffy tweens to full-blown adults while staying healthy.
This is the ducks in the adult stage. How many days old are they here?
It's around 40 days.
Barns are open, clean, and relatively quiet.
What makes a duck a good quality duck?
Then they're fed the right stuff, yummy industrial poultry feed.
He said like if he touched the breast, then he can feel that it's pretty thick. Yep. Are you checking yourself?
I'm seeing if I would make a good duck. I think so. Maybe he can help me out later. We'll do that off camera.
After 6 to 7 weeks, the ducks reach a weight of about 7.5 pounds, and they're ready to ship off.
How much are you selling the duck for here?
100,000 Vietnam dong.
For a whole duck?
Yes.
The duck we're gonna be trying later today, I think it's like half the duck is around $25. Does that seem like a lot to you?
Eating duck is common in Vietnam.
He said it's really high.
Around just about any corner, you could find it roasted, eaten with noodles, or stewed in a savory broth.
Have you ever heard of a preparation like aged duck meat?
But aged duck,
Yeah. He said he never heard of it.
this is a pretty foreign concept. The meat preparation method dates back centuries.
Back in the early 1900s, they'd store the animals as a half carcass in the big refrigerated rooms. That's how they get more life out of the animal.
Now it makes frequent appearances on gourmet menus, especially in Europe and big town USA.
You should be able to pick up like a bit of cheesiness and a bit of hamminess and a certain kind of nuttiness as well.
Meet George, executive chef of Stoker Woodfire Grill for the last 3 years. He's mastered the art of cooking aged meats, creating one of this city's most unique dining experiences.
Would you consider this a fine dining restaurant? Am I overdressed or properly dressed?
It's more just refined rather than fine dining.
Oh. It seems like aged meats happen to be associated with kind of fine dining or higher end restaurants. When I learned about this, I felt like I won the lottery because I have a lot of aged meat in my refrigerator. Sandwich meat, turkey, old pastrami. It's been aging a long time. So you have a steak right here.
We are. So this is a 30-day dry aged porterhouse. It's finished on grain. So you get a bit more of a fat content through it.
This gets imported from Australia. Then it sits in the refrigerator for 30 days. When it starts resembling a giant stick of beef jerky, it's ready to eat.
What is the most aged beef you've ever heard of?
I've seen 365-day dry aged short loins, and it looks like a fossil.
A year,
It's almost a year.
A year.
Would you eat that?
maybe.
The demonic dark outer skin is cut away, revealing a more familiar steak color and texture. He seasons with salt and olive oil and grills on an open fire for 5 minutes. Take it off for a 5-minute breather, then repeat a couple more times until this wise old steak is ready to eat.
I've tried aged beef before. To me, it was real funky. Is that how it's supposed to be?
It can be. So after 30 days, it starts to develop a lot more stronger flavors. You'll get a lot more like blue cheese and nutty notes to it.
It's even more pungent, more powerful?
Normally, yes.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm real excited. I'm gonna be honest, I'm scared, but let's just try it. I'm gonna get kind of a medium piece here. Oh, it smells fantastic. A little smoky. I think we should eat it at some point. Ready? Cheers.
I did, sorry.
That's delicious.
Thank you very much.
That's real good. It's smoky, it's heavy, the fat is delicious. How was it for you?
Just delicious.
I'm telling you, what I've had in the past, it was funky.
Yeah.
And this is nothing but pleasant. No funk at all.
Right.
So I should just try one more piece to be sure that. Frick, that's good. I love it. The only main difference I can tell is that the texture feels different.
Right.
It feels almost a bit more dense, kind of a unique texture that's fun to bite through. How does the aging affect the texture?
So as it gets older, it'll start to firm up because it loses its water. It will also start to get a bit more tender.
So it gets tender and firm?
It almost hammy.
Good things come to those who wait. Enzymes and changes in water composition, transforming the meat's texture and mouthfeel, like my hairline. The meat is experiencing a controlled decomposition.
George,
Yeah.
right now we're in your giant refrigerator, but I've been in bigger ones where you can kind of walk around. But no, it's nice. It's cozy, quaint.
The conditions for this method are simple but must be precise. The space should be well ventilated. Moisture is then pulled from the meat over time.
I'm looking around, I'm seeing this. What's this? Is it-
Probably should be seeing that one there.
oh, okay. I didn't see that. Is that a giant Tootsie Roll? Is that butter?
We coat it in rendered beef fat just to limit that moisture loss a bit more.
Natural enzymes within the meat come alive and start breaking down the molecular bonds. This alters the flavor and texture.
We're here mainly for the duck. Already today we went to a duck farm. The farmer was talking a lot about the breasts. He seemed to be a big fan. He said they're very full.
Yes, they are.
How long are you gonna age a duck?
So for special events, we'll take it to 3 weeks. Minimum is 15 days.
The duck is roasted for 2 hours, constantly basting in a mixture of butter, vinegar, and garlic every 20 minutes.
Let me hold you, 'cause life without you feels so cold. Oh, it's so cold.
Next, George grills it in the oven, spraying on sherry vinegar to help crispify the duck's skin.
What is the experience gonna be as I bite down into a 3-week aged duck?
It's going to be gamey, so a bit of cheesy, a bit funky.
A funky duck. This is exciting. Okay.
Lop off the duck breast and thigh and grill. Slice it into bite-sized pieces and plate. It's garnished with caramelized apple chunks and a touch of vinegar sauce.
Hey, it's us.
Yes,
Have you seen a better looking duck than this? It looks fantastic.
it is.
And so this one has been aged for 2 weeks and it's covered, what is this, like caramelized apple? I like that. That's kind of a weird start to a duck meal though. Let's jump into it. The meat itself looks fairly pinkish and the skin is nice and dark.
Smell great.
There's some Queen's vinegar on there. I don't know what that means, but that's what's on there. Let's go for it. I'm searching for the gaminess. So I'm searching for that cheese. What the duck? It's really yummy. There's nothing like funky here though. It's not gamey like at all. It's different than normal duck though, right? I mean, I'm sure you've had roasted duck or duck made in the Chinese way 1,000 times.
Because I look Chinese.
Okay, you know what? I knew you would take it the wrong way. Because the Chinese people know how to make freaking duck.
Juicy, tender. It's not as dense as the other beef that we have in the kitchen. It's ducking good.
Holy ducking shit. Oh, whoops, I said shit. Now, today we're gonna be trying 2 different ducks. Duck that is aged 2 weeks and duck that's aged 3 weeks. Usually, people don't get the 3-week one because it's too intense. So I wanted to get the intense variety so we can compare it against this.
Like making blue cheese, the process of dry aging meat promotes the growth of certain fungal species. Sounds tasty, right?
Can you age any kind of meat?
It really just depends on how far you go with it. Duck definitely can. Chicken, I wouldn't.
What are you worried about with chicken?
Salmonella mainly.
Oh.
Over time, it reaches maturity, but the longer you go,
Right here we have our 3-week aged duck.
the more intense the flavors will
I
become.
want you to fork that and just,
Hold on. Oh, smell that, smell that.
oh yes.
This is what you've been waiting for all day.
This is like stinky
Here we
tofu.
go.
But you kind of like it, don't you?
Kind of like, it's bad.
It's so bad, it's good. It looks a little different, like
It's fading.
discoloration. Yeah, let's try it out. Cheers.
Oh my god, yes. You can tell.
Yeah. But I think I like it. It's an offensive aroma. It's bold, it's daring. The smell is a bit more intense than the actual experience of eating it.
Oh, damn.
You kind of take in more of that decomposition of the tissue, but then when you eat it, it's not as intense as the smell. When you mix that with the sweetness and the sourness of the sauce, it kind of works together.
It's pretty strong for me.
Too much for you?
Because when we eat the 2 weeks, it's not that clear. You can still taste like normal duck. So I think maybe 1 more week, like no big deal. But it's big deal.
Yeah, so this is like your absolute limit.
Yeah, what an experience.
Dry aged meat. Don't try making it in your fridge like me. Leave it to the pros.
This is
So-
profound.
Start with the young stuff, and if that tickles your tongue, work your way up to the more aggressive flavors.
I like the 2-week aged duck, but I respect the 3-week aged duck.
Wow.
It's not for everyone.
I think it's good. But if it's like aged a little more, like 1 day more, then I'll be like,
If one day your palate grows weary of pedestrian proteins, there's always something more extreme ahead. From researching and shooting to editing and mastering, our 10-person best ever food review show team works hard to roll out the highest quality travel food entertainment twice a week. If you like what we do here, please consider supporting our Patreon. Patreon allows fans of the show to contribute a monthly sum and receive a load of extras like early video releases, private Q&As, and beyond.
To learn more about our Patreon, check out the link in the description box down below. And if you can't give or don't even feel like it, that's okay too. We're just happy you're here. Huge thank you to Twin for joining me today in this fun food adventure. Quick awkward handshake.
yay. My favorite.
That is it for this one. We will see you next time. A peace.
Peace. I'm just gonna
Yeah,
walk
leave.
out.
You go.